What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to TBM Sports. Let's run the board. Let's talk Thursday college football. We'll kick off the week one here in the NCAA. I'll give you guys my three best bets, and it's going to be a fun one. Okay, exciting weekend ahead. Not only do we have a lot of action tonight, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, even the Monday Labor Day game with Bill Belichick's debut, Little Catholics versus Convicts on Sunday, as well as for some ungodly reason, the noon kickoff between the Ohio State Buckeyes and the Texas Longhorns, a little repeat from last year's postseason playoff game. And then obviously we do get Clemson squaring off against LSU primetime on Saturday as well. So it's going to be a great one. Let's enjoy this and let's talk some best bets. We'll run the board. And if you are new to TBM Sports, I'm Mark. I do talk sports betting every single day on my channel, and these are free picks, okay? And all I ask in return, let's get to 10,000 subscribers, okay? Tell your friends, hit that like button, subscribe down below, all that good stuff, and let's get the picks flowing, okay? We are going to use Outlier to break this all down, and if you guys are not using Outlier, I have a 7-day free trial in the description. This is probably, in my opinion, the best betting tool out there, and when we will have hockey, NBA, college basketball, baseball, as well as the likes of the NCAA and NFL football going on concurrently. Do not overpay for bets. Do not spend more time making bets and doing your research that you should not be making, okay? And there's a lot of things we could be doing with our time, and simply put, when you're in a very short window, a time crunch, or a live betting opportunity, it just gives you the best numbers available, and do not overpay for bets, especially if you're betting a lot, if your unit size is fairly high. For the small nominal monthly fee, I can tell you that this has saved me hundreds, if not thousands of dollars over the last 2 years that I've been with Outlier. Okay, so that link is down below. 7-day free trial. Check it out today. Okay. This is where we're going to get into the first game. Boise traveling on the road to South Beach as they take on the South Florida Bulls. Now, interesting spot here. One thing to note, we will have some weather in play. Supposed to be thunderstorms, supposed to be some good Florida weather this time of year. Hurricane season is upon us, and as we talk about it, it's going to be sloppy. And this is something where Boise's coming from conditions where it's dry. It's, it may be hot, but it's dry, and just used to the very, I would say, blue turf. It's just a very unique environment that they're traveling into for a opener, okay? And that's what I'm going to say. Allah, I think that's why we've seen the number drop from almost 10 points all the way down to where we see South Florida getting 5.5 at home, okay? I do think South Florida is potentially live in this game at plus 180. I think we've seen that money line drop quite a bit as well. You can see the 68% of the handle is on South Florida, albeit 91% of the bets on the playoff returning Boise State Broncos, albeit they don't have the likes of Ashton Jeanty. Big fan of the Broncos, though. I did watch a lot of Boise State football last year, handicapped them extensively due to the fact that I had a 70-1 Ashton Jeanty Heisman ticket that, albeit he should have won that award, probably the best probably the best running back season we've seen from a college football perspective, and since maybe the likes of Barry Sanders, okay? But nonetheless, he did not bring home the hardware, but we still hedged out of that, thank God, and made a little bit of a profit. But that was one where, you talk about Boise State coming back this year, 12-2 on the season last year. They have a very tough schedule. Not only do they have to play this game on the road in some muddy water, they have to go to South Bend and play a very stout Notre Dame defense, okay? They do return the majority of their offensive line, quarterbacks back, tight ends back, and when the conditions are like this, that connection is really going to be one of their saving graces, because the tight end quarterback, that's how you're going to have to move the chains through the air when you're going to have the thought of thunderstorms and rain. And who knows, we might not even see this game. It might be postponed for all we know. We do get a lot of that down south during hurricane season in the fall, okay? But South Florida, they are seeing a lot of line movement towards them. This is where we talked about the number falling from 10 to 5.5. I don't think this is a fade on Boise State at all. I think they're going to be very good. However, with Byron Brown at quarterback for the Bulls, I just think this is a dynamic two-way quarterback. 20 starts under his belt. I think he'll be ready for the action. And like I said, I think South Florida's live. This will take me to my first bet. This is where we're going to take the South Florida Bulls. We're going to go first half for this one, okay? First half is what we're going to be on. And you can see here, this is where I'm taking a 3.5 at minus 115 on DraftKings. All right, that is the best bet for this game that I'm giving out. If we're tied at half, we're down 3, or we're even leading, we're still going to cash that at a minus 115 price. So give me the Bulls first half spread. All right. Next, let's talk about some of these MAC games that we do have quite a few tonight. And this is one where we're seeing very low totals across the board, albeit the MAC will be getting a lot of points. And the first game that we see this in is with OU and Rutgers, okay? Now, when I do talk about games that I don't have official plays in, these are leans. So for tracking and transparency purposes, these are leans. These are not my bets. They're just kind of how I feel about it. So as we talk about OU here, 15.5 is a heck of a lot of points over 2 touchdown dog here playing Rutgers. Rutgers has departed 2 NFL talents in last year's draft, and this is kind of where, just how much can they reload here in this spot. Now, I know that the spread, the handle is all over Rutgers, but OU, very impressive last year. 10-plus wins in the MAC overall, 7-1 they were in conference. I like OU here a little bit. All right, 15.5 is that best number available at FanDuel, minus 110. I would lean with the Bobcats at a 15.5 number on taking the points. Jacksonville State and Central Florida, another game where I think this is a very strong lean as well. We're going to stay in the state of Florida, and as long as Central Florida is under a 21-point favorite, I would be backing the Knights. Okay, so if you can get 20.5, you can even find a flat 20, which is out there if you want to pay a little bit of juice, or even a 19.5 if we do see some movement late. But I do like Central Florida laying the points up to 3 touchdowns here in this spot, okay? Wyoming and Akron, another game where we do get the Zips at home, getting 5.5 points. 4-8 on the season. Wyoming had a bad year as well. Another low total, 47.5. And I do think this is another kind of indication where if you want to talk about kind of where we're at, this would be an underplay for me. 47.5 as we look at it. Kind of how I stack up, but it's not a very strong play. This is just something where I think the number, we're getting the worst of it. It did have a 50.5. It might have even been at 51 at one point, but as we talk about kind of the Zips here, the under 47.5, if you can find a flat 48 key number for totals, that's kind of where I would lean towards the under here in this spot as a best lean, but not a best bet. Okay, East Carolina and NC State. This is where I would grab the points with the Pirates. Okay, as long as you can get 2 touchdowns here, this is the side that I would be on firmly. All right, this has been a game where we've seen some movement towards NC State. You can see a very interesting kind of setup here. Okay, we opened at 12.5. Number has got up to 14, but the overwhelming amount of the money is on East Carolina. So as we see the number move up, the betting splits are in favor of the team opposite of that line movement. So very, very interesting. We'll see what happens and how this shakes out despite all that line movement. But for me, guys, it's East Carolina with the points if I was going to play it. Buffalo and Minnesota. This is another game where we see a low total, 43.5, and a MAC school getting 17 scores in this game. So another trend, another data point for that trend that we're seeing here on this Thursday. But Buffalo plus 17.5 would be my side that I would be on if I was going to play Buffalo and Minnesota. Okay, and then the next game, Wisconsin and Miami. The Red Hawks are coming into Madison, and we see Miami, another low total once again, and 17.5 point favorite for a MAC school. So 45% of the handle is on the Red Hawks in this spot. And this is where we're going to talk about the the indication for me. Kind of looking at this one as Luke Fickell comes into this season, kind of on a hot seat, kind of not. I don't really think there's anything better out there for Wisconsin. It may not be, the most flashy season. Unfortunately, in the Big Ten, they're kind of on the outside looking in. The way recruiting goes, Penn State, Michigan, now with all the Pac-12 schools coming into the fold, very hard to compete in the Big Ten. In Wisconsin and Michigan State are kind of those two teams on the outside looking in. Also, a lot of love for Illinois this year. Okay, so the Big Ten is kind of a interesting conference to look down the barrel of the entire season as we look at it today on August 28th. We'll see kind of how it shakes out. But for me, guys, this is another game where I would be on the side of the Red Hawks with that plus 17.5. Okay. The next game is our second official best bet for today. This will be Nebraska and Cincinnati. Now, this is the game where we see Dylan Raiola in his second year. Interesting game for this one as well because we do, I think this game, if I'm not mistaken, okay, I think this is kind of where we look into this game. It might be being played in Kansas City's home stadium, okay? This might be in Arrowhead. I'm not sure on that. Somebody please correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But I think this is a game which, yes, it is played at Arrowhead Stadium. This is something where we talk about the very similarities of Patrick Mahomes. We all saw the Instagram reel, the the comparison between he wears the 15 and, he kind of looks like him as well, but definitely trying to get out there and model himself after Mahomes' game. However, if you were watching Nebraska football last season, there was a lot of times they struggled to score 10 points in a given game. Okay, so kind of how I look into this handicap. Cincinnati's going to be good on defense. 52 points is what I took. A little bit too much for me. Okay, so that is my best bet. That is the second play that we're going to be running with. I don't see how this game gets outside of the 40s. I know that Nebraska has brought in Dana Holmgrenson. We've seen him prior with West Virginia, with Houston. We know about the air raid, and they do have a quarterback that can run it. Just do they have the skill players to combat that Cincinnati secondary, that defense? No, they don't have Sauce Gardner anymore, but I still think Cincinnati does enough to keep Nebraska's offense a little bit kind of out of shape, despite they will get a lot of possessions. I think Nebraska's going to end up punting a lot. And, just looking for them to return serve on defense, keep this total down, and we're basically just going to be playing ping pong between the 25 yard lines, respectively. And that's just kind of what I want to see in this game. Low scoring, let's get some field goals, no touchdowns, and hopefully we can cash an under. But 52 will be my best bet. My second play I'll give you guys on the channel. Okay, App State in Charlotte, no play for me in this game. This will be a Friday game. Sorry, I kind of went into the Friday schedule, but we have to talk about the last game on the docket, and this will be between St. Francis, Pennsylvania, and Louisiana Monroe. Okay, game where I think that is very interesting, and unfortunately, guys, we have seen this number already move to 26.5. Okay, as I was making my bets this morning and looking into the picks, and a few days ago before I put pen to paper, this number was at 23.5. You're going to have to shop around a little bit, and this is where you're going to have to use Outlier. You're going to have to use OddsJam, one of those platforms to find the line movement. Okay, and as I'm looking live for you guys on the screen, the only book right now that offers a 24.5 is Hard Rock. So this is on DraftKings where you see a 26.5. That is the best number right now on the major sports books. If you can bet on Hard Rock, you can still get a 24.5. DraftKings just moved off of that 24.5. This is a small play for me, but it is going to be an official bet. Simply put, Louisiana Monroe, for what they are, is what they are. It does not have to do with them whatsoever, okay? But St. Francis, they are a team that is going to be dropping down, little relegation, if you will. They're not going to be a Division I school for next season. They've had a lot of key departures. Pretty much every single player transferred off of this roster. And I just don't see the competition being there for Louisiana Monroe. And it's almost a must play for me. Okay, so this is a game where a lot of people probably don't even know that St. Francis was a football program. But nonetheless, we're still going to back this. I don't mind it at 26.5, but the official play will be the 24.5 you can find on Hard Rock at a -110 price. So I'm going to lay 24.5 with St. Francis here as my final official best bet. Okay, guys, that will be it. That is my quick recap we'll give you guys right now. Before you get out of here, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, turn on that notification bell, all that good stuff. We'll be in action all weekend. But the three best bets, we're going under 52, Cincy and Nebraska, -110. South Florida first half, +3.5 at a -115 price. And Louisiana Monroe, we're going to lay 24.5 here in this spot and look for lopsided cash in this game that will be kicking off between Louisiana Monroe and St. Francis, PA. Okay, appreciate it, guys. Good luck out there. Let's cash some tickets, and we'll see you guys all tomorrow in the next video. Cheers.